Alright, hey YouTube, what's up? This is Speed Player A, and this is my, one of my mipedian decks, so I said I'd do a deck for every tribe. After this, just have to do an Marillion deck, so, I shall christen this my, strike deck with an Enre-Hep High Muge. See him in the back, right? So, let's just see our features first of all. So, we've got two Jod Dig Site Defenders. This one has 40 energy, 70 courage, 105 speed. He's got Drill Dozer. This one is pretty much the same, except 50 energy, 75 courage, 100 speed, and also has a Drill Dozer. Jod's Dig Site Defender is really good, because, you know, the Dawn of Param Jod really sucks. But then they just come out and make this one with Strike 15 and really decent energy and really good stats, so, yeah, I was really glad to get him. Next we have Noaz, the mipedian Cavalrist. He's a really annoying creature, because when on your turn, he gains Air Tendon Surprise. He has Swift 1, 50 energy, really good courage and speed. This one has 100 speed and 90 courage. And he has the Evergreen Tunic. So all these guys are going to gain 20 energy from their battle gear, because Noaz has 90 courage. And then the other two have Earth. So, yeah, they all gain 20. And then, wouldn't be a strike deck without two Awakeys. So, this one has 60 energy, 90 speed, and the Arrow Drone. So, Air Drone is when a quick creature deals air damage, you look top 4 cards of your attack deck and put them back on top in any order, so just for rearranging your attacks that suit you, or if you just want to like get the bad ones over with, or whatever. And then this one has 65 energy, 90 speed as well, and a mipedian Baldier's Flute, just because you want to save counters for Enre-Hep, who has 25 energy, 65 speed, and a mipedian Baldier's Flute as well, so he's here for his awesome ability, which is copy target magic playback creature you control, and it doesn't even have to resolve. As soon as you play it, you can just copy it right away. And yeah, you can choose new targets for the copy, so that's really awesome in this deck. There's so many different things you can do with it. Well, I was just picking up creatures in my head for this deck, so I was like, obviously, two Awakeys, and I was like, who's my third helper guy gonna be? So I was thinking Marquidrini or Taffy, but then I was like, no, I want to use my Ultra Rare Enre-Hep, because he's awesome. And then he's awesome with these, so let's see our magic. So, one Ember for, well, here, let me lay out the counters for these guys. So, Jod has one. Other Jod has one. This Awakey has one. And then this Awakey has one. But, hang on a sec. When he sacrifices Baldier's Flute, he will have two. So, alright, let's just say he has two. Sacrifice Baldier's Flute. Now, the way you want to play your music in this deck is, as much as possible, you want to not cast it for the first time with Enre-Hep. You're going to want to cast it with one of these guys, because they have 5 counters between them. So, and then once they've cast them, you can copy them with Enre-Hep's ability. So, let's just say he sacrifices his Baldier's Flute, and he will have 3. And then, also, a lot of people put Baldier's Flute on your team now, so your opponent most likely has one. So if they do and they sacrifice it, you want to put your counter on Enre-Hep. So, for music, we've got a Symphony of the Guard. For now, let's just say, like, anyone can kind of cast this, so I'm not really going to assign music, so Symphony of the Guard. Song of Shelter, when you cast this after your opponent casts music that targets a creature you control, and then if they don't Cadence Clash it or anything, then your creature cannot be the target of music abilities until the end of turn. And then whatever music or ability they have targeted them with just has no effect and goes straight to the discard pile. Melody of Mirage, just a really good mipedian music. Target attack deals 0 damage. Ember Flourish, everybody has air, so it's just PL 15. Cadence Clash, just because if you have to deny music that doesn't necessarily target your creature, just do that. And then Fanfare, the Vanishing is in here in case your two Awakeys have to fight, and then they don't have invisibility, so this can just give them that, and then they'll gain the extra strike 5 from the both of them and 20 speed. This can also be for Noaz if he's attacked on your opponent's turn, and then you can just keep using this to boost your damage, because you can copy it with any ability. Alright, so let's see our locations. So, got a Crystal Cave, since your creatures have super high speed. Hunter's Perimeter is just gain surprise and then cycles to your locations, and then the Mirage invisibility cannot be negated, so that's helpful. 2 Rapid Stocks, you're going to want to put your counters on Enre-Hep. Darkened Dunes, your whole front line has Earth, and so they're going to have range and Swift 1, and then Initiative is air, so you're going to go first. 2 Storm Tunnel, boost your air attacks. 2 Sands of the Unseen, just air, invisibility, strike 10, really good in this deck. And that's also in case of weak he has to fight, and you can't cast your Fanfare of the Vanishing. And then Broken Edge, because I've got some speed attacks in here. So, let's see our attacks. So, 1 Sediment Storm Shield, just Earth 5, air gain 10 speed. Like that. 2 Air Assault. 1 Funnel Blast, I really like this attack, unfortunately I only have 1 of it. So it's air, earth, and speed, which is really awesome in this deck. Since, you know, I've got a Symphony of the Guard, and Noaz, and Broken Edge, and stuff like that. 2 Atmosphere. 2 Velostrap. 2 Shriek Shock. Ultimate War Stance. 5 base damage, 10 air damage, 10 earth damage. Then if your creature who's playing this has air and earth, the next attack played this combat deals 0. So you gotta time this so that it's not your last attack, because then if you go first on the next turn, then your attack will deal 0. But if you just play this and then your opponent attacks, their attack will deal 0. So, but if your opponent's creatures are blades, then they're gonna deal 15 damage. But you know, that's the way it goes. It's just a really nice attack. Whirling Whale, again, air, earth, and base damage, and then the ability is your opponent may not play Muge cards. Now, when you play this, they can just play Muge on top of it because it hasn't resolved yet, but then when it resolves, then they may not play Muge cards. Earth Shape and Viper Wipeout. The Earth Shape is for Newmans, and then if your Wakes have to fight and they want to gain Earth, and then Viper Wipeout is just, you know, Newmans. Gain Earth, or gain air. 2 Poison Sphere. Obscuring Winds in case you're up against a Gantrak, or you just really have to boost your speed for whatever reason, just an air as an air attack. Sand Strike, air and earth. And then 2 progressive speed, air and speed attack. Alright, so this deck is pretty straightforward. Your Jods are going to be really hard to beat because they're going to have Strike 25. Noaz, you're going to want to attack with him on your turn because then he'll have air 10 and an invisibility surprise, plus he has Swift 1. So if you can attack on your when Darkened Dunes comes up and you can attack with him, he'll have range and Swift 2. So you can just get to the back in there. Now, the weakness with this deck is you have no defender. So the Awakeys can fight because you can just use Fanfare the Vanishing. But if somebody can just get straight to Enre-Hep, they're gonna be able to get to him. So the only way you're gonna be able to, probably, most likely, all odds against you are not gonna be able to win that battle. But if it does happen, you can just spend all his counters and then maybe your other guy's counters, because he's kind of the base of this deck. Just play a bunch of music and make it as difficult as possible for your opponent to beat him. Just make them use up, some of their music, some of their good attacks. Just make it as hard as possible, because Enre-Hep is most likely going to go down, but he's going to go down fighting because you can just hit him with a bunch of music. So like I said, if your opponent sacrifices all your loot, put all the counters you can gain on Enre-Hep, and then just have your other guys cast all the music they can, then he can just cast any remaining music, and then once there's no music left to cast, then he can just copy whatever music you want. So, like, if you're an engaged creature, if they just play music, it doesn't have to resolve. You can just copy it right away. It doesn't have to resolve. And then, yeah, even if your opponent removes your discard pile, the music doesn't have to be a discard pile. It's, as long as it was played, then he can copy it. So that's just a really awesome ability, and why he is ultra rare. I was really happy when I got this card, because my brother had one. He has the Silence Hands Enre-Hep and this Enre-Hep. So when I got one, I was like, oh yeah, this card rocks. Like, he has 80 Wisdom, 65 Speed, 2 Muge counters, 25, like, he's a high Muge, really like having high Muge. He has air attacks, yeah, so I just did match with this deck. It was really, really awesome. I won every battle. This deck is super tough to beat, just because, strike. Obviously, Forest of Life during Iceless or Song of True Sight is a weakness, but you can put in Notes of Everywhere, which I was thinking about, but I just didn't. And then if they try to Song of True Sight, you got your Cadence Clash. So, yeah, this deck's really fun. Remember, please, somebody leave a comment. I want to get my first comment and also first like. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I want my first subscriber. Remember, Speed Player out. Peace.